It's a simple fact. Russia is banned from the 2018 Winter Olympic Games.
The Olympic Games are supposed to be a chance for athletes from around the world to show off their skills, but sometimes it's just a way for sneaky stars to see what they can get away with.
I want you to know that I have been dishonest.
Horseplay. Most Olympic cheating scandals involve people giving themselves a boost with banned substances, but this one goes a bit beyond that. At the 2008 Summer Olympics in Beijing, Tony Hansen won the bronze medal in team jumping. Unfortunately, Tony failed a doping test. But Tony didn't just dope himself, he also doped his horse. He wanted to put a little bit of extra pep in Camiro's step, so he slipped him some capsaicin. Yes, it's a chili pepper extract, but it does more than spice up your oats. It's used as a pain-relieving medication, and the Olympics consider it a banned substance. While it can help with injuries, it can also cause them. Using capsaicin on a horse's legs causes them to become inflamed, which means it hurts to hit them against obstacles. This inspires them to jump higher, but it's a cruel form of motivation. Tony's actions not only cost him his own medal, but resulted in the entire Norwegian team having their medals taken away. He's tried to appeal the decision numerous times, but hasn't been successful. Sabotage. This situation is so scandalous they even made a movie about it. We're talking about the now infamous attack on figure skater Nancy Kerrigan. The day before the US Figure Skating Championship, an assailant tried to break her leg, which would have left her unable to compete in the 1994 Olympics. Nancy was relatively lucky to end up with just a severely bruised leg, but this wasn't just a random act and had something to do with her fellow skater and Olympic teammate Tonya Harding. Her ex-husband Jeff Gillooly and her former bodyguard Sean Eckhart had hired Shane Stant and his uncle Derek Smith to carry out the attack on Nancy. They were soon caught, but whether or not Tonya was involved was a hotly debated topic, especially since both women were on the same Olympic team. Tonya denied any involvement in the plan, but admitted that she didn't report the incident once she became aware. She negotiated a plea deal for hindering the prosecution and ended up with 3 years probation, a $100,000 fine, and 500 hours of community service. With her skating career over, Tonya tried her hand as a professional boxer until her asthma forced her to retire. Hammer time. When Betty Heidler was a kid, she was bullied because of her red hair, but she found that sports gave her the confidence to stand tall, and she started training as a high-performance athlete. Before she retired, her track and field event was the hammer throw, and her personal best was 260.5 feet. In the 2012 Olympics, Betty was proud to take home a bronze medal for the first time. But in reality, she should have been receiving an even bigger honor. The original gold medalist, Tatiana Lysenko from Russia, was later disqualified for doping. This meant Anita Boracik from Poland was moved from silver to gold, and Betty went from bronze to silver. Although Betty is glad the truth came out, she admits to being disappointed that she didn't get her time to shine at the podium. Rigged figure skating. People love watching figure skating during the Olympic Games, but few understand exactly how the event is scored. The 2014 Winter Games highlighted this when Russian athlete Adelina Sotnikova won the gold medal and the crowd was furious. Adelina managed to defeat the defending champ Kim Yauna and became one of the youngest figure skating champions in the world. But fans believed something fishy was going on with the judges, especially since they thought Kim had given a far stronger performance. There were serious allegations that certain judges had allocated extra points to both Adelina and her fellow Russian athlete Yulia Lipnitskaya. Not only were spectators complaining about foul play, but many experts weighed in. Naomi Narinam won the silver medal at the US National Championships in 1999 and said in her opinion Adelina's scores were inflated and Kim would have been the clear victor. US bronze medalist Ashley Wagner claimed this incident needs to be a wake-up call about the judging process as it currently stands, and this kind of upset could turn fans away for good. Even though Adelina was allowed to keep her medal, this suspicious situation left a bad impression on fans and pro figure skaters alike. Testing. Some athletes learn the hard way that sooner or later karma comes for you. The International Olympic Committee, or IOC, is committed to making sure people get the recognition they deserve. In May 2018, the IOC Athletes Commission started a program to reallocate medals that had been handed out to competitors who had the benefit of banned substances on their sides. Thanks to advances in testing technology, 28 athletes had their performances vindicated. Spanish weightlifter Lidia Valentin was left in tears after she was left 1 kilo away from placing in the top 3. But it turns out the winners, Svetlana Podobedova, Natalia Zabolotnaya, and Irina Kulesha had all cheated. 6.5 years after the competition, Lidia finally got the gold she deserved. Austra Skujite earned her personal best score in the 2012 heptathlon, but it wasn't enough for her to place until Tatiana Chernova and Ludmila Yosipenko were stripped of their respective 3rd and 4th place rankings. This means Austra now has her long-awaited bronze medal, which she received after she retired from athletics. Winning an Olympic medal when you're done competing is pretty impressive. Systemic. As long as there are competitions, there will be people willing to do anything for an edge. The problem of doping became so serious among Russian athletes that the IOC took action against the entire Russian Olympic Committee. They were essentially banned from the 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea. Those who did compete were forced to do so under strict scrutiny and without wearing their nation's traditional uniforms. IOC President Thomas Bach called Russia's rule-breaking attempts
unprecedented attack on the integrity of the Olympic Games and sports.
Ouch. And it seems like the IOC isn't convinced that Russian athletes have learned their lesson. There are serious allegations that officials from the Russian Athletics Federation helped indoor high jump champ Daniil Lysenko avoid being banned for not reporting his location to testers. They've also been accused of tampering with doping data, and as a result, they're looking at being banned from the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, Japan. Yuri Ganis is the head of Russia's anti-doping agency, and while he denies the charges, he believes it's unlikely his nation will be allowed to compete in the near future. Instead, his best hope is that individual Russian athletes will be invited under the same severe conditions they faced in Pyeongchang. Heat it up. This cheating scandal might not be the most recent, but we have to admit it was pretty creative. Orton Enderlein was a famous East German luger in the 1960s who felt her background as a mechanic contributed to her success in the sport. But it was her mechanical tampering that ended up causing her disgrace during the Olympics in 1968. Orton was at the top of her game and widely considered the best female luger in the world. Needless to say, everyone expected her to win, but nobody expected how she won. After she blasted through the finish line, the International Luge Association supervisor, Lucian Świderski, realized something wasn't quite right. When he added some snow to the runner, it hissed and quickly vanished. It turns out that Orton had illegally heated up the runners in order to heat up her speed. Since she was representing East Germany and this was during the Cold War, it was an especially scandalous incident. But wait, there's a huge twist. There were serious allegations that Lucian was bribed by the Federal Republic of Germany and Austria to drum up false charges against Orton and the rest of the East German competitors. Even today, people can't agree on whether Orton cheated or if she was set up to take the fall. Hard time. Marion Jones is an athlete who went from having the time of her life in the Olympics to doing hard time behind bars. She was a world champion track and field athlete, and in case that wasn't impressive enough, she also played professional basketball for the Tulsa Shock. But throughout her athletic career, she was plagued with rumors that she was doping. She was banned from track and field competitions for 4 long years for missing a test, although she claimed she wasn't notified of the requirement. None other than Johnny Cochran himself got that conviction overturned, but still the rumors persisted despite Marion's protests. She went on to win 3 gold and 2 bronze medals at the 2000 Olympics in Sydney, but she wouldn't get to keep them. It turns out Marion was guilty of doping, and to make matters worse, she lied to federal agents about it. Not only had she knowingly made false statements, but she was also facing charges involving check fraud. In addition to turning over her medals, Marion ended up spending 6 months in prison for her crimes. She went from being considered a star athlete to being exposed as a total fraud. Suit up. In the Olympics, a fraction of a second can mean the difference between winning and losing. This means something as seemingly inconsequential as an outfit can have a big impact. When Speedo introduced the new LZR suit, its sleek design reduced drag in the water by 38%. It's no coincidence that at the 2008 Beijing Summer Olympics, 98% of medal winners and 23 out of 25 record breakers wore one. While this was perfectly legal at the time, it's something which is becoming a growing issue as technology continues to evolve. Critics call it technological doping and say it widens the gap between wealthy and less fortunate athletes. The suits were banned in the games after 2008, and even pro swimmers like Michael Phelps approved of the move. At the 2018 Winter Games, Lizzie Yarnold from Great Britain won gold wearing an advanced custom-made suit designed to cut down on wind resistance. And Dom Parsons of Great Britain set a track record and won the bronze thanks to his savvy new suit. There's a lot of debate on whether these strategic wardrobe choices are cheating or whether they're just a way to stiffen the competition. Running. Hearing about all of these cheaters might have you doubting the validity of the Olympics, but there are still many athletes with integrity out there. But famous runner Usain Bolt learned the hard way that doping can still affect you even if you're competing clean. When the IOC was conducting their retroactive testing using new technology, 454 samples from the 2008 Beijing Summer Olympics came back positive. One of those belonged to runner Nesta Carter and resulted in the entire Jamaican team losing their gold medals from the 4x100 meter event. This made Trinidad and Tobago the new winners despite an appeal from Nesta. Up until that point, Usain had been considered a triple Olympic champ, meaning he'd won 3 out of 3 in his events over 3 Olympics for a total of 9 gold medals. Because Nesta broke the rules, Usain ended up losing his coveted triple status. This also meant Usain is the only person out of 6 sub 9.79 second 100 meter runners who wasn't caught doping. Oh, and after the competition in which Nesta cheated, Usain also donated $50,000 to help children affected by the 2008 Sichuan earthquake. Poor Usain did his best, but was still brought down by a cheater. What do you think about these scandalous situations? Do you think the punishments fit the crimes? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section, give us a like, and then click on the subscribe button to get the latest videos from us here at The Taco. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.